Greetings. In this part of our discussion, we are responding to the rotten Zionists among the Christians and the Jews. Not all Jews are Zionists, not all Christians are Zionists. Among those two people, two nations are good people, good heart, even if their practice is wrong, but they are not rotten like the Zionists. We are responding to the lies of those rotten Zionists about Palestine being a land with no people, for people with no land. You're showing that this is a land that has always had people in it, and those people are named and called the Canaanites, Palestinians. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 1. Under the title in English, the command to leave Horeb. Let's go to verse 6. The Lord our God said to us at Horeb, "You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Break camp and advance into the hill country of the Amorites." There are Amorites in the land, never a land with no people. "Go to all the neighboring the people in the Arabah, in the mountains, in the western foothills, in the Negev." Negev is an old name in Palestine, and today in Arabic it is Naqab, where the Israeli, the state of Israel has nuclear weapons hidden. And along the coast, to the land of the Canaanites, to the land of the Canaanites, the Palestinians. Never ever Palestine was a land with no people. We are talking, those verses are 3,000 years old. And speaking about the Canaanites, and speaking about the Palestinians, over and over and over again. How stupid are those rotten Zionists who deny all this, saying land with no people for people with no land. It continues to say, and to Lebanon, an old name. Even Lebanon today, after separation from the province, Syrian province, it used to be Lebanon before, it is Lebanon today. This is an old historic name. Palestine, the same. Jordan, the same. Syria, the same. Even inside one whole province, Syrian province, under Rome, those were parts of Syria called Lebanon, Palestine, Jordan, Syria. Then, all together used to be called by the Romans the Syrian province, and by the neighboring country the Greater Syria. The Greater Syria. Even after the British divided them, and the French after World War II, bringing forth today's Syria, today's Lebanon, today's Palestine, today's Jordan. But those names are as old as history itself. Not created by the British, not created by the Romans. The Romans and the British came and they found those names as we find them today. But all they did, they divided the Greater Syria into different parts to weaken it, because they saw Syria as a whole may make a big force, a stronghold, to defeat England, who invaded this after the Turkish. Then the verse continues and says, as far as the great river, Euphrates, and it says the Euphrates. I don't have to explain this. It says the Euphrates. The great river, the Euphrates. Always in the book, when you see the great river, the Euphrates. For some reason, scripture says the Nile at Egypt and the great river. And sometimes it explains what is the great river. It says Euphrates. Verse 8 says, "See, I have given you this land. I have given you this land." This is a lie. This is a lie. This is not true. God did not say that. We have read together, the promise to Abraham. He gave it to Abraham. And then offsprings. And Israeli and Isaac is not the only offspring. And he didn't have it anyway. Go in and take possession of the land the Lord swore. Wait a second. Listen to this. Go in and take possession of the land the Lord swore he would give to your fathers. Listen to another lie. To Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to their descendants after them. I challenge all of you, all of the rotten Zionists, go back from this point, from this book, Deuteronomy, all the way to Genesis. From the first word to Genesis to the last word of Deuteronomy. Show me where God made this promise. On the other hand, we did see together, and I showed you in chapter 12 of Genesis, and 13 and 15, how the Lord made the promise to Abraham. He said, I give you this land and to your offsprings. But because the stupid Zionists want us to believe that this promise is about Isaac, they deleted Ishmael, the proper owner, the real owner, the firstborn, the real offspring, for 14 years before Isaac. Therefore, part of this is true, that the Lord did promise Abraham, but he did not promise Isaac, he did not promise Jacob. Go and look and search the book. Search the book. Unless this God, may have some kind of memory problem, Alzheimer or something. He did not make such a promise to Isaac or Jacob. He made it to Abraham only, and to his offsprings. And offsprings, we know who had it from his offsprings, not Isaac. Period. It was always Ishmael. And to their descendants after them. Therefore, we see here how it says Negev and along the coast to the land of the Canaanites. To the land of the Canaanites. To the land of the Palestinians. The Canaanites, Palestinians, Philistines in the original language. Like I said many times, stupid English did not exist back then. Stupid English came hundreds of years after Jesus. And this is thousands of years, 1,000 years at least, before Jesus. Right after the time of Moses and Joshua. Very well. Now, beyond any doubt, the rotten Zionists are stupid and they are lying about a land with no people. Palestinians were always in the land. The Canaanites were always in the land. Look how, break camp, the Lord said, break camp. Enough staying in this place. Break camp from this mountain and advance into the hill country. Go to all the neighboring people in the Negev and along the coast to the land of the Canaanites. So he's telling them to go to those parts of the country, to those parts of the land. And one of those parts, a huge part, is the land of the Canaanites. It says literally, to the land of the Canaanites. It's the land of the Canaanites according to their God. Very well, then there is no doubt that rotten Zionists are lying, and they can find this that we just covered in the book of Amos, chapter 2, and the verses we mentioned. Very well. We are still confused at this point, what kind of a God is this? We have I understand what John Hagee is saying. I completely understand. I completely agree in this point, just one point. I don't agree with him in anything else. He is miserable. When he said, if you go to the book of Genesis, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Therefore, everything on this earth belongs to God. No doubt. I agree. But I always have a question, and I wonder, this is the land of God, and who placed the Canaanites in this land? The Philistines, the Palestinians. Would they have come without his wish and his will? Did they offend him thousands of years back, against his wishes? They pushed him to the side and say, you go to hell, we're going to invade this land and occupy it and take it as a homeland? Can you prove it? Since the Lord allowed the Canaanites, the Palestinians, to live in this property, in this real estate, Philistine country, the land of the Palestinians, Canaanites, then what changed? What made him change his mind? Kick those people out of the land. Help in killing them and massacring them based on his orders, according to the book of Joshua. Why this God is a mass murderer and destructive. He told the Israelis to kill everybody with the edge of the sword, even the little children. I don't understand Christians, how ignorant it is to say that they worship the God of the Israeli, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. How ignorant are they? Because according to them, God is love. And for God so loved the world, he sacrificed his only begotten Son, according to Christians. But this God of the Jews, he orders, masculine. According to the Christian Jesus, their God says, according to the book, for the kingdom belongs to those little children. To the little children. The kingdom of the Lord belongs to the little children. But this God orders those little children to be put to the edge of the sword and be killed in cold blood. How dare you, Christians, lie and say you believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that the Jews believe in. How dare you lie like this? Your God, Jesus, says the kingdom belongs to the children. This God, says, kill him and put him to the edge of the sword. Go to the book of Joshua if you don't believe me. And we'll cover this. I will not let this go. Not in a million years. Maybe not answering John Hagee, maybe answering some other fool and ignorant, some other Zionist. Very well. No, dear Christians, you lie when you say you worship the same God. According to you, your God is so different. Very well. Till next time, take care.